What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 24 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded King Louen campaign. So as we saw last time, we got the quest for the Chalice of Potions of the Fey Enchantress completed, which was the final quest that we had access to, as in we have all the items now for all of the lords, unless I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure Albrecht has his trident and whatever this thing is, the braid of Bordelot, and that's the only thing. So yeah, we've got everything now, which is great. Though unfortunately it will mean no more control plus 25 quest rewards. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time, we'll be heading into the Badlands with the Fey Enchantress and Rapunzel, and starting our work on Scarbrand and probably the Bloody Hands fairly soon as well, while Louen continues being a complete menace in Sylvania. At the very least, there are a bunch more of these full stack armies here, so I'd like to get into combat with them as soon as possible. And then of course Alberic will probably attack the Jade Court preemptively, as they are starting to really dislike us for what we did to the Hunts Marshal, and frankly, their territory is kind of in the way. And I'd prefer to ally with the Lizardmen anyway, especially as they're probably not going to stop their war, let's face it. Anyway, let's get started. Once again, we'll do an hour episode as the threshold was reached last episode, and once again, the offer continues, 200 likes and 30 comments plus, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. The Green Knight is back, so we're gonna summon him, and he'll be summoned right beside Louen. And oh, I did want to test this. So last time... Okay, so he doesn't keep his stuff. Okay, that's unfortunate. So last time I put a student on the Green Knight, and it disappeared. I do have to wonder whether it actually returned to our stock of students, or whether it just plain disappeared or not, but I guess it's, well, it's impossible to tell right now, because it didn't keep a count at the time. And, oh, we have a lot of free Vagabonds as well. Oh, wow, plus 25 character experience gain. This is kind of useless. Anyway, the unfortunate aspect of the Green Knight spawning at Louen is that he's probably too far to go into any other army. Well, then again, he's reasonably close to the Fey Enchantress still. I might even have him fight with Louen a little bit until the Fey Enchantress moves up north. And you know what? While we're summoning heroes, I think we'll get another tech thief. Let's get two rather than the one. There was a intelligent one with that hero self-defense chance, so let's do that as well. Not enough tech thieves. Rename tech thief, and you will get specialist, steel tech, and block army, I believe is what we were doing, so that's what we'll continue doing. Neither of you, though, need your mounts, because those are costing us unnecessary cash, so let's lose those. There we go. I mean, it's a 200 gold per turn, after all, just for those mounts. Alright. Let's see what we gotta do this turn. I think it's just building, so let's start with that, or finish up with that, I guess. Talea, we don't need to do anything with you, Vulture Mountains, Lianez, and... oh, I think we actually don't need to build any buildings. We built them last episode as well. Are we keeping this Inspectism? Oh, we can't, yeah, alright, fine, yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it, I guess we're okay then. Skip. Outpost available. We'll save it for next turn. Outpost upgrade available. I think the only ones that we care about right now are Reichland, but not even that much because they still don't have the tier 4 gunsmith, so yeah. The outpost system has been disappointing in this campaign so far, and so... oh! Scarbrand's actually gonna attack us. Well, that's just swell. I was gonna say the... outposts, he's going to lightning strike. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. I can't say I was expecting this, but I am very happy with Scarbrand for actually trying this, as I was not expecting him to actually go instead of running. This is also good that he's revealed that he has lightning strike, and I'm glad that he attacked Rapunzel by herself, rather than, for example, Yasmina, who wouldn't have been able to defend. Huh. Go figure. Alright, what I was saying was we haven't had access to a lot of fun units from the outpost system as yet, because the other factions just haven't grown enough. Anyway, Rapunzel versus Scarbrand. This should be, well, in our favor, but a lot more evenly matched than you'd think, because we still have to figure out a way to bring down both Khorne's Bloody Fist and Scarbrand himself, which are going to be toughies. Here we go. Alrighty, here we go, and interesting. We got ourselves a choke point battle. And, you know, I'm not sure whether this is to our advantage or whether it's to our disadvantage in this particular case. If we had super elite infantry, where a single unit could probably hold the line easily at one of these chokes, then obviously we would have a major advantage against an AI, because the AI is poor in understanding how to fight choke point battles. Also poor with a bunch of other stuff, but choke point battles in particular. But obviously we don't have hyper elite infantry, we have garbage tier 1, and that's tier 1 when we're now at the 5-tier system peasants, and even the men-at-arms with maces are going to be wasting all their armor piercing on the nearly unarmored bloodletters. On the other hand, this will mean the enemy is not able to concentrate a lot of its forces to hit a lot of our peasants at the same time, and we'll have to go through the units one by one, so hard to say. But on the other hand, it'll also mean we won't be able to get our knights around the enemy's flanks and then cycle charge them and charge them into the back and rear charge and whatnot. So once again, there's definite pros and cons to this particular form of choke point battle. Anyway, we're gonna start the battle off with the enemy opening a portal and summoning some bloodletters right into the middle of our forces, foolishly and for some reason directly upon Rapunzel and the Beast Slayers of Baston and a bunch of other units. This seems like the wrong way to go about it, as opposed to going after our archers, and the bloodletters basically got mobbed and destroyed pretty much instantly. On the other hand, here comes the Bloody Fist of Khorne to start attacking our units of men-at-arms, but the paladin is going to move right to attack it, and so is Rapunzel herself. These two do quite a bit of damage. Rapunzel is up to nearly 1,000 weapon strength when the Sword of Lyonesse is activated, so she can hit very, very hard. And as long as the Bloody Fist here is distracted by our piles of peasants, Rapunzel should be able to bring it down. Well, it did call in for help though, as an enemy exalted hero of Khorne has arrived. And then so has the rest of the army. There we go. Alrighty, well, the choke points are both engaged now. Scarbrand leads the forces on the one choke point, and then the Bloody Fist leads the forces on the other. We're going to be ignoring Scarbrand's side for now and just mobbing it with infantry and hoping that we can hold while we try to take out the Bloody Fist and the hero over here with Rapunzel. Rapunzel activates her Halo of Maidenly Wrath, and I take it that's where this hole in the line came from? Not sure. Or just, actually don't know what that's from, but anyway. It might have just occurred naturally, or it may have been a Ruinous Thunderbolt that I missed, though I swear I saw Ruinous Thunderbolt come down on Archaon's side. Anyway, Rapunzel keeps whacking away at the Bloody Fist, but not for much longer, as it is now and beginning to crumble away and become banished. There's that other Ruinous Thunderbolt about to come down in the middle of the formation of Bloodletters. Bloody Fist tries to make its way forward into the mass of peasants one more time, but it looks like Rapunzel will finally bring it down. I love that enraged scream that they do before they fall over. Very, very nice. All right, well, that thing has been unable to make it through, and now Rapunzel and her paladin are going to focus down that exalted hero, who is actually also pretty much dead. I also want to point out that we've separated our two units of the archers, or the peasant bowmen, on each side, the Poxy peasants and the Sons of the Sun, on this particular side, just to try to focus down any enemy units that aren't demonic because of the physical resistance, although the 20% physical resistance isn't all that horrible either. Well, 30% on the exalted ones, but yeah, trying to go after those chaos chariots of Khorne instead, though they do have missile resistance as well. Alright, try to bring down that hero, would ya? And it looks like we're actually going to just leave the hero. It's nearly dead anyway, and the Beast Slayers are best stunned with their anti-large. Should be able to bring it down. The Paladin in response will instead head down to the second Bloodthirster of the day, the biggest Bloodthirster in all the land, Scarbrand himself. But if we can bring down the Fist of Khorne, we can surely bring down his, I don't know, angry child. I guess technically they're all his angry children, but you know what I mean. Actually, they're more like parts of him than angry children, but anyway. Scarbrand is already in trouble. The charge from Rapunce is working, and we've been focusing him down with our arrows at the same time, and it looks like he's got Burnt Cavalry Bane and Poison on him all at once. And now he's got an Opal Amulet and a bunch of damage resistance, though it looks like that's not going to be near enough. And it looks like this time we've brought Scarbrand down in a more, let's say, fair way. Last time we just mobbed him with like a dozen units of peasant bowmen attacking him at once, but this time we cleared him out in melee, so what could he ask for? Anyway, there are a few more units left to clear, and the choke point continues to hold. We've sent in questing knights, both on the ground, or in their knight form, or in their infantry form, as well as in their cavalry form. They're all in their knight form, you know what I mean. And it looks like they're starting to mob whatever other units remain. And this particular map is laggy, or at the very least it's causing my PC to hiccup. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that this is another time that I did transform the knights into foot knights, because it usually doesn't do that. At least not to this degree. On the other hand, it could also be the map in particular. Also noticed that the blood effects, there's a lot of blood, but you can't see it affect the water in any way, can you? Not that it's a big deal, mind you. Anyway, there we go. It looks like the enemy has finally shattered. Only a couple Brutes of the Hound remain in the fight, and that's only because they're unbreakable. The rest of Scarbrand's forces have shattered, and the battle is ours. Gonna knock down the last of these Brutes of the Hound. We might as well watch the peasants and the foot and cavalry knights rip them apart. There we go. Nice swing with that two-hander, and there's another hiccup. I'm gonna double check whether the next battle does this as well, or maybe I should restart my PC after this battle. Yeah, definitely usually doesn't do those. I mean, it usually hiccups a little bit. My PC is certainly showing its age, but not this much. Alright, well, at the very least I'm gonna pay attention to whether it does so on the next battle. Anyway, I believe that's it for the Brutes of the Hound, and the battle is fully ours. We got a little bit of chasing to do, but as usual, that can be done off screen. Yeah, glittering scales, very nice. Otherwise, Scarbrand didn't turn out to be nearly as problematic as I thought he was gonna be here, which is great. He did still manage to do 7.4k damage, which I'm sure was more than any of his other troops, but we were able to bring down Khorne's Bloody Fist with the Rapunce and with the Paladin with decent ease, and Scarbrand followed suit fairly easily as well. We got 18k damage and 16k damage on two of our knights, and then much less on the other two. I think these two, the ones that did less, were the ones that I transformed into foot knights during the battle, whereas these two were the ones that kept in cavalry form. Wish it would have been clearer which ones were which, because I'm not 100% on that. But anyway, well done everybody. Really, the main damage was only to one unit of men-at-arms with maces, so that lightning strike was a bit of a waste on you, bud. Ransom captives for additional cash, please. And let's continue. I don't imagine anybody else can attack us, as I don't think anybody else is near, other than these guys. I mean, maybe they'll all try to attack Louen. Well, good luck to them if they do. You want us to join war against Clan Moors? Certainly not right now, but maybe later. Alright, Sylvania will indeed deign to attack Louen again. Let's see what they've got this time around. Decent pile of Mourngulls here. We've got a lot of skeletons and stuff. Certainly a battle worth fighting, but I think in terms of sheer troop types, they're not going to be as difficult as the troops that we fought previously. Although the 2 Vargulfs maybe, 3 Vargulfs, may be an issue, as they do have a tendency to bring knights down with their attacks, so we'll have to watch out for them. Anyway, here we go again. Steinbeck Lichmore. Let's see what you can do.
It shall be.
Alrighty, well, here we go again. And ooh, cool map with all the bale fires burning in these bogs. I love these undead maps. Both the, well, the cities with the undead architecture and these boggy maps. And very nice, and we got all these little will-o-wisps or whatever it is flitting around the edges of the map as well. Anyway, I'm going to start the battle up by heading directly towards the enemy army. There are a little over 3 full stacks here, 3.2 or something along those lines, in terms of what the enemy has brought to play, and we want to dish out as much damage to the first army as we possibly can. Usually we like to soften the enemy army up with Louen and his pal Adins before sending in the knights, but this time we're going to send in the knights as fast as we can, with of course the anti-large knights of the realm waiting for enemy cavalry and stuff to arrive, or possibly the Vargulf if they can get at it. Though for now on, he is going to face off against the Vargulf, and Louen is going to go ahead and face off against the enemy Vampire Lord. At least the first of the enemy Vampire Lords. We've got 4 enemy lords, 3 of which are vampires and 1 of which is a necromancer, and 3 Vargulfs to take care of, so plenty of single entities to be getting on with. Oh, I like this combination of the black barding on the horse and the dark armor that this particular lord has in combination with the red shield. It's quite nice. Which, does he have a red cape? Yeah, he has the red version of the cape. Lovely for him, though not so lovely for much longer, as he will go down to Louen and Beaky. And the rest of our knights have of course charged and are well into combat with the first army, but of course the first army was the weaker of the armies, so plenty of skeletons and plenty of zombies and not much that is threatening. So we're going to dish out the damage to them and then back off and allow more of the enemy, more threatening units like the Graveguard and whatnot, to make it onto the field. I'm going to even back away our Pegasus Knights, not so much because they're under threat in the air, but rather because 2 Sylvanian crossbows have arrived on the field, and they are sure to be targeting our relatively fragile Pegasus Knights. Alright, Louen and Anhui fighting together on their Hippogriffs. It'll be nice to have a unit or 2 of Royal Hippogriff Knights with these guys as well, so we can have just a very heavy portion of this Air Force. And there we go, they are now completely surrounded by all of those Graveguard with great weapons. The rest of our knights are backing off and repositioning themselves to charge again. The Knights of the Realm have briefly also charged in, and just to allow our Pegasus Knights here a few seconds to attack those damn Sylvanian crossbows. Don't want them to attack these guys after all, and I see some flying heads there. Yeah, we want to leave the Pegasus Knights to be able to deal with the aerial units and not to get bogged down either fighting melee or with the enemy range attacking them. So better bring the Sylvanian mortal auxiliaries down. Anyway, here comes charge number 2 from our main knightly force. Of course, Lowen's lines are going to charge right into the thick of things as they do. And these guys always rack up an absolutely massive number of kills. I'll be curious to see how they fare in terms of a comparison with Grail Knights and Grail Guardians once we have the latter on the field. Alright, we're going to be casting with our Life Mage in the background and completely safe by the looks of it from the enemy formations. There's a shield of thorns coming down on these 3 units of the Knights of the Realm, which moved in here in order to allow the various units of Pegasus Knights to back out so that they can fly in and then go after the 2nd unit of Sylvanian crossbows. Of course, while we've been watching the Knights, our heroes have been no slouches either. They've been attacking the enemy single entities and hunting down lords, heroes, and monsters. Lowen's going after the enemy Necromancer now, while his Pegasus Knights join him to try to clear his way of these peasant Sylvanian crossbows. And oh, would you look at that? The enemy has some reinforcing units of the of Fellbats. It's not going to help. And they're going to get knocked out of the sky quickly, and so are the Vargeists, I am sure, as they've stood no chance against the Pegasus Knights so far. Also love the lighting in this boggy map. We're getting some glorious cinematic shots against the vampires in this particular campaign. I've been very happy with that. Even if the vampires are on the losing side, they're still my favorite, and we're getting great shots of them. And I love to see the shambling dead walking through these swamplands as well. And you never know how many of those corpses are just going to rise and attack you again. Anyway, it looks like a decent amount of the enemy are crumbling away, at least over on this side. We're also going to back up our knights for a 3rd time, and then recharge in a few seconds. While our main force of knights back out, we're going to do it again where we charge the Knights of the Realm in. Then the Knights of the Realm can charge out, and then the other knights can charge back in as well. And the Pegasus Knights are waiting in the wings, as they tend to do. Our paladins have unfortunately gotten themselves a little bit surrounded, though a few of the Lowen's lions are staying and fighting with them, while Louen is going after the enemy lord still, who is being blocked by this particular Vargulf. Though I don't think either one of them, and in fact the Vargulf is going to book it out of there. I guess it wants no part of Beaky. Which I guess does make sense. Oh, look at that, a little bat got stuck in the air. And, these... Okay, wait. It's a bunch of these statues. Yeah, these are statues of more. You would think that in a vampire territory they would have actually been destroyed. Interesting. But anyway, I guess you could consider it to be a desecrated graveyard or something like that, but you'd still think that they would actually try to bother to destroy the statues of more, who considers them all, as in the vampires and the dead, the undead, to be a blasphemy. Anyway, looks like a couple more Vargulfs remain alive. We're going to pop another Shield of Thorns in the biggest blob of our units as we can, and the Knights stream back in to the fray. It looks like the balance of power, however, has shifted to about 80% in our favor. The last of the Sylvanian units has shattered, and it looks like the enemy lords, -1, are just about gone as well. I imagine as soon as the last of the lords falls, which should be any second now, the battle will be ours. There he goes, down under Beaky's talons, or under the hooves of the questing knights, and as we can see, the enemy army begins melting, crumbling away, completely surrounded, and completely screwed. Yeah, gotta love to see that sea of lances pointing towards the sky. Alright, well now we can't really see anything other than the big old units in there. Beaky after one, and then I forgot the name of the hippogriff of Henri. I'm not even sure it has a name. Brix is Tempête, but I don't know whether this one has a name. But anyway, I'm just going to call it a hippogriff. Let's see, Vargulf 1 and Vargulf 2, you're the last ones on the field. We're going to back the Knights away, because frankly they attack slower at single entities than the Paladins do. And there we go. Alrighty, fantastic. Loving these massive fights against the dead, and it looks like this time we didn't take nearly as much damage as the last, but it does make sense. Also gotta love the giant pile of the corpses beneath where our paladins fought. A heroic victory as well. Fantastic. Alrighty, well, the dead do rise, just not for long, as Louen once again clears them out, and this time with only 9 losses in his main army. Of course, they didn't have, like, 40 units of Graveguard with great swords like that first 3-army battle that we fought, so they considerably lacked armor piercing. Now, from somebody who plays the vampire counts a lot, more than anything by far, since they're my favorite factions, there's a few obvious standout issues with the armies that the AI used here. First of all, they had neither Mortis engines, which you always want, nor necromancers slash corpse carts. And the thing is, zombies and skeletons are very, very useful units, considering how cheap they are, and they would have no problem bogging down and killing all of these knights in decent circumstances, but without the Mortis engine slash necromancer slash corpse carts to both buff them up and keep them healed up, they obviously went down without too much trouble and couldn't force the damage onto all of our knights. In addition to that, there is a relative lack of armor piercing here, which could have been ameliorated by the Graveguard with great weapons, but at the very least the AI should be using Crypt Horrors, and because they do both armor piercing damage and provide that lovely poison that they apply to the enemy as well, and Crypt Ghouls to some degree as well, though they would be extremely vulnerable to knights, and you're better off just interspersing Crypt Horrors into your zombie and skeleton blobs. Anyway, too bad so sad for the vampire counts. We are going to 2k versus execution. I'm a little bit tempted by the tiny extra little bit of movement range, as we may want to hunt these armies down. 2k isn't that much, but on the other hand, we've got a lot of money we need to spend right now. Damn it, alright, fine, just ransom the captives again. And what is this? Oh, this guy's gonna come for... Oh, he actually has a decent army. This guy's going to come for Fort Oberstar, which we purposely left. So yeah, he's welcome to it, and he's going to sack it, rather than occupy it. Durthu wants a military alliance, and will probably be attacking Sylvania sooner rather than later. Would you join war against Sylvania? No, still no. And we're gonna hold off on the military alliance, because once again, I just don't trust Durthu. And the World Walkers will attack Reichland. Alright, well that was always going to happen. What this might, however, indicate is that the World Walkers will actually bypass Reichland and go for us instead, so we'll have to be careful about them landing at Couronne or at Marienburg or something like that. Anyway, enter war inside of Ella, of course, and we'll see where Wulfric comes around. Alright, and enemies killed in battle. There's that Glittering Scales warrior for Rapunzel, and Blood Quencher for her as well, and Superior Defender for Louen. This actually doesn't really give us all that much. Ooh, leadership. Doesn't really matter for his particular army. Blessing of the Lady for who? It can't have been for Rapunzel. Must have been one of these little armies. Wait, no. I'm pretty sure that Rapunzel always had the Blessing of the Lady. Yeah, I think it was one of these little armies. I guess it doesn't really matter either way. Alright, we got a servant, a court jester, more court jesters, settlement sack, Fort Oberstar, but we don't care about it. Now, I think while we do want to get registered draft for the upkeep, since we're going into the Badlands, we may want to now get Green Tide Decree for the immunity to barren wasteland attrition. And I guess at the same time, while we're here, we could probably get the Ruinous Powers Decree as well. Minus 50% attrition from casualties suffered from Chaos Undivided Corruption. This doesn't really matter as much while we have the immunity to attrition, the Errantry of Zeal, while in enemy territory. And it's just straight up immunity to attrition, huh? So yeah. And, well, let's cross the... Oh! Is that another full stack? It is another full stack. Cute. Will this put us in enemy territory? No, it won't. Huh. Funnily enough, we actually want to go into enemy territory, but it's taking quite a bit of effort to cross. Maybe it would be better to set sail and then land here instead, all together. I'm not entirely sure. It's just really hard to cross the river. Would you guys be able to? Yeah, they'd all be able to set out to sea, wouldn't they? Rapunzel, I can't quite tell whether you'd actually be able to. You know what, go to sea. Just please, Rapunzel.
I shall go.
Let's see if she can manage. Yes, she can. Okay, good. So Marie, you'll just go beside Rapunzel right there, and then Yasmina, you do the same, please. It's just too annoying to cross the river.
Steps are guided.
Not that it'll make much of a difference either way. Alrighty, Faye Enchantress and Deline. Well, first of all, you're waiting for Baron Thegan to give you a bunch of stuff. Right here. Actually, wait. Faye Enchantress gets 2 of these, which I've already renamed. Chivalry Delivery on Peasant Space Program, but these 2 Blessed Field Trebs, which are going to Rapunzel, can I guess get their own names while we're here. How about... we have here Stonecasters. And I got a lot of Trebuchet names, and Remote Boulder Delivery. Oh, that one actually fit. You know what, while we're here, let's name a couple of the foot squires as well. Bretonia's Flying Circus. Let's do a couple. And the Bucketheads. Alright, so some of you to Rapunzel, some of you to... Oh, you know what, it's actually a good thing that they're all at sea, because it'll be easier for them to meet Baron Thegan this way. I like it. It works. Alright, Louen. Let's see what you've been up to, my friend. And, oh, yeah, now you guys are gonna come down and start taking territory. You've been useless this entire time, and you'd prefer to lose your... What the heck? Caravan of Blue Roses, why are you here? What the heck are you doing? What? Wait, are you telling me that they spawned at the Haunted Forest and this entire time they've been crossing the Darklands and now the World's Edge Mountains to try to get to us? This is bizarre. Huh. Well, either way. What I was saying was it's really odd behavior from the dwarfs because they're at war with the Crooked Moon and they're at war with the Clan Moors, who are both right beside them, but it seems like they want to be opportunistic and attack the Vamps while we're doing all the work for them. I mean, to be fair, it's also pretty on par for what I expect the AI to do, but it's... seems disadvantageous to me, but anyway. Louen, you're gonna switch to... I guess the... You know what, don't switch to the Crusade stance, just go normal stance, just wipe these out real quick. Little tiny armies. Auto resolve. And... okay, good, it didn't actually kill any units, and this time we'll take Execute Captives. I wonder if we get any kind of trait for executing captives repeatedly. Guess we'll see. And then you can go after Tabert here. And auto-resolve this as well. This will probably actually damage some knights. Yeah. And then... 1610. 1610 might be worth it. Alright, we'll take that, and we're good. And we cannot, unfortunately, reach the rest of you. Wait. Or can we? We can't reach Castle Drake and... oh. So here's the issue. We cannot reach Castle Drakenhof, but if we attack, we'd probably kill everything there. The problem with this is that the dwarfs, who are then right beside Castle Drakenhof, may actually steal the territory from us, which to me says we're gonna do... Alright, Louen, go into ambush stance while in this territory. I doubt that this will work, but give it a try. And, oh right, the Green Knight. Do we send you with... we get a lot of XP for a couple fights here. You know what? Yeah, fine. We'll take Matthias the Follower out for a few turns. We'll just follow around. And then the Green Knight, you can join the army just to leech the XP. And, damn, I should have done that before hunting down the little armies. I actually forgot that I was gonna put him in Lewin's army for a second. Anyway, what we want to do here is buff him up a little bit. Constant casualty replenishment for everybody, weapon strength for everybody, upkeep for everybody. Only the lords and heroes, mind you, but ooh, control +2 for all provinces. He's got a lot of good stuff, don't he? And of course the vows of fealty. I think we'll start with control, like so. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Too bad he doesn't keep his points, but I guess that would be... well, I don't know if it would be overpowered, actually, considering that after 19 turns, considering he's useless on the turn that he summoned, so in reality it's not 20 turns, it's 19 turns, and then he's gone for 10 turns. Not sure. Anyway, let's see what else we got today. After Louen, I mean. So the yes, the recruiter with our peasant army. I want you to head to Castle Artois for now. And we're gonna make a little bit less money because you're not in Couronne anymore, but that's fine. And then I want you to sit here for a couple turns and make 3 field trebs for this particular army. Then I would like to replace those field trebs in this army with a bunch of fire rain rockets / Hellstorm rocket batteries, because this is going to be our outlaw army and they don't care about chivalry, but we don't have access to those yet. Adelard, what do we have here? I'm just going to have you quickly auto-resolve this little army to death. Not worth fighting. And let's get you a point assigned. Ladies' Mantle, basic training, always worth it. You do have some knights, so we could get Glorfiniel's progeny just to level up the, 4 knights that you have. Might still be worth it. Although I think for a single point assigned, I think basic training might actually be the better point. Yeah, let's do that. Alrighty, and then just quickly resolve this. Hopefully this guy can't run enough away. Don't call your allies to help us, it's a waste of our time. He's gonna run. He's not gonna run. Well, he's gonna die. If it was a full stack, I would have actually fought it, but not like this. Never like this. Ransom captives, please. A little bit more cash, because we'll need it. And a hedge wizard and Adelard, you're good. Now you're going back up north for 2 reasons. One, we will have the Norskins attacking us probably soon. I see they've got stacks here, and they'll probably head towards us rather than Reichland. And then at the same time, there's a bunch of islands here that we want Adelard to pick up. Also, Paravon, we got 1 turn until we can start making our flying army, as the peaks of Paravon will be ready. So we'll send our recruiter Mercier here, and start recruiting outlaws and flyers for 2 armies at the same time, and then we'll send them wherever we please. Fey Enchantress. And, we could use the turn just to take the troops from Baron Thegan. Alright, here's what we'll do. You are going to trade to Deline these 2 additional regular trebuchets rather than delete them. Like so. And then we're just going to rename them to their normal names because they no longer need those, and then you are going to grab the other 2 trebs. Oh, and I guess you 2 can stay here together. I know it's an extra turn, but whatever. We wanted these in here anyway. Chivalry Delivery and Peasant Space Program. Lovely. Alright, you 2 stay here. Also, we got our new tech thieves, who I believe I didn't give students to. Yes. Alright, ancillary, student, and vagabond. I can have a vagabond. Servant? Yes, servant. You don't need pit fighters. You don't need court jester. Well, you can decorrupt stuff. Fine. Have a court jester. And then you the same. What would you have of me? Court jester. Student, and I vagabond, and then the last thing was servant. There we go. I don't remember the names of all these ancillaries. Alrighty, you 2 are going to cross the river the annoying way, but it is what it is. And then hopefully we'll get a nice battle against these guys as well. Not that that's related to the heroes, mind you. Alright, I don't know who you are. Oh, you're Alberic's new follower, because Therese is 100%ed. Yeah, alright. You need to head out to Wallatal, as that'll be the place that you probably... Oh, actually, wait. It said it's Spectazuma as well. No, Wallatal generates more money. Well, Spectazuma will generate okay amounts of money, especially with the Gem Cutter's workshop. Actually, not sure which would generate more.
Your behest?
I don't know, Wallatal is farther, but at the same time it has 1 extra farm. You know what, just go to Wallatal. Alright. Now we have to figure out how we take on these guys, the Jade Court. So they do have a couple of settlements here, which we'll want to be careful of. Alberic, how long? I don't think this will work. What I'm thinking of. but it might. Alright, Alberic, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go right here. Wait, don't trespass yet. Who are you at war with other than Mazdamundi? You're only at war with Mazdamundi. Alright, fine. I guess we'll declare war on you right now. Sorry about this, Bo. I do love you so. We had a great campaign, but alas, it cannot last as you declared war on Mazdamundi. And he's kind of forced to declare war on Mazdamundi due to his campaign objectives. But oh well. 5.9 for this. We could do a defensive alliance with Mazda as well. I want those lizard units. Plus, he's already allied with Avalorn, and he's very friendly with the the High Elves. Yeah, fine, do a defensive alliance. And give us some free money. Hopefully we can destroy Yuenbo before Mazdamundi gets killed himself. I actually don't know what the heck the defeat trait for Yuenbo is. Huh.
My sight is yours.
Not that I've ever given it much thought, mind you. But he's such a new lord that I don't know. Oh, you could do this yourself. Huh. Do this yourself. Yeah, do it. I was gonna send Alberic to help you out, but that's fine. Take the Wellsprings of Eternity, and it looks like you can act by yourself, so you will do so. Ah, damn, too bad we can't use the global recruitment to get some free units, as I'm not willing to wait you 2 turns. You're just gonna head to the Pillars of the Unseen Constellations right after. We don't need the Clothier here. We just upgrade the Wellsprings of Eternity. You know what? Let's wait until we have the reduction to the cost. It may look like we have a lot of money right now. That isn't necessarily quite the case. You go to the Floating Pyramid. And this might actually be auto-resolvable as well. Is this worth fighting? I mean, on the one hand, you can't underestimate the Jade Warriors. They are supremely effective in terms of pure cost. On the other hand, they would have no chance here. I'll think about it. Let's see what else we have going for us this turn, and then maybe we'll fight this. I just fear that if they have no full stack anywhere, we won't be able to get a good battle against them. Because Isle of the Crimson Skull without a defender might not be worth our time. And I'd really like to get at least a couple of proper fights against the Cathayans before they're destroyed. And I do mean destroyed because I don't think the other Cathayans are going to survive either. Yuenbo might be the last Cathayan alive, as the western provinces have nearly fallen. And while I don't know exactly what's going on with the northern provinces, you can see that there's chaos corruption here all over the place. So it looks like... And then there's Skaven corruption below them. So unless Nangao holds... It looks like the Bastion has fallen. They're all dead. Damn, Cathay is an absolute shambles. Well, that's Cathayan problems, I guess. Let's see what else we gotta do this turn before we commit to Alberic's fight, let's say. Alright, this all looks good to me. Let's do buildings. Tilea, let's start with the... no. I lied. Vulture Mountain, yeah, I'm gonna continue skipping you for now. Lyonesse, no. Not the tier 5s, they're not worth it. They don't give us enough to be worth it. Lashik, however, yes. Port and Kiln and Fields. Yes, technically we should have defenses as it's a coastal province. And the problem will be... Once we declare war on the Thousand Maws, and probably by virtue of being friendly with the lizards against the Skaven, they will most likely bypass everything in Lustria and start sailing armies here. And of course, Kairos will probably do the same. It'll mean that we'll have to keep an army here or, you know, destroy them. Which we'll probably do both of. We also have to figure out what exactly our campaign objective is going to be in terms of the endgame here, as we are approaching it. Other than, of course, trying out all the army types. Let's see. In the meantime, Spectazuma, we've got... Well, I guess we'll start with growth again, so we'll start with fields with you, even though there's a bunch of stuff that should be built here. Alright, Barrows of Quila, let's keep building that royal stable, just for the capacity. Gisero Gap, nope, continuing ignoring you. Pirates Current, same with you. Skavenblight, yes. Chapel of the Lady, and Tavern, and... What else can we do that's adjacency? I guess the water wheel. And just for the 20 growth. I mean, we could also build the Grail Chapel here just for the capacity. I mean, capacity is good. We do want more damsels on the field, and eventually more Grail Knights and whatnot. But I suppose we could always build it after as well. Do you do anything adjacency-wise, Apothecary? No, just growth, Actually, Skavenblight will upgrade to next tier much more quickly than I was expecting. Alright, fine, just put the water wheel, screw it. Make Talea and Distalia grow faster. Bloodhall, you're fine as you are, and we're gonna keep you as you are. Northern Sylvania and Southern Sylvania will continue ignoring, because, well, can't do anything with you right now. Alrighty, still have 48k remaining. Of course, a very solid amount of that will be spent once Couronne upgrades to tier 5. We've got some very expensive buildings to build all over the place. We got like 30 to 40k we gotta spend on just these buildings, and damn do I wish we had materials at sea for it, but alas we don't. So I guess then the question is, ooh, Adelan Mountains, you ready to go to tier 5? Oh, no, not quite. Do we upgrade Lyonesse right now? I mean, I guess. Alright, fine, let's just upgrade Lyonesse, and Artois, well, I hope I don't regret this. That's a lot of investment for 2 of those settlements. And I know I said that we could get the research first, but frankly it's going to take a while to get that as well. And this one, improved loom technology, 4 turns. I don't really want to wait 4 turns. Alright, we're good, we're good. Alberic, 'tis your turn, my friend, and we're gonna attack. No guarantee of getting another battle with them if their other armies are destroyed, so let's not risk it. As for what you want to do, while we do want the lowly masses, I think we finish up with Engines of War into Rally so that we can get the upgrades for the various knights. Let's also do your paladins, try to get to Deadly Onslaught. Also get the True Hero Bretonnia, but after. Scardvet, always valuable on paladins because of their regeneration, and then you can have... oh, you already have Deadly Onslaught. What was I gonna do with you? I guess we could get We Are the Elite. More charge, and I still have not decided whether I want Blinding Majesty or My Vow in this army in particular. Much stronger paladins for individual fighting versus somewhat stronger forces. We don't really care about the auras or defending, because this is an offensive army. So it's basically the 10 to 20% vigor loss reduction versus much, much stronger paladins. And My Vow, which is pretty decent as well. But because of the perfect vigor on paladins, it doesn't matter either, at least for them. Though it would matter for the Knights of the Realm. So I'm still undecided on that, and thus we're gonna keep making you stronger fighters. Tough as nails, and then we'll get the We Are the Elite. Alright, and lastly you are trying to get to Arcane Conduit, I guess, so let's get the Aura of the Lady. Which is unrelated, but it's free, and it's free spell resistance. Alrighty, let's see about this quick little anti-Cathay fight. Alrighty, here we go. Alberic's going to be fighting some of his fellow humans some more, so it's not just the Imperials of the Empire, but the Imperials of Cathay as well. Bit of a shame, but, well, once again, what can you do? We just can't trust Yuan Bo's presence here, because if he angers the elves or he angers Astankia, they'll all get into a combat, even if he does defeat Mazdamundi, whereas Mazdamundi is already friendly with those factions, so it's easier to just be friendly with him instead. With regards to Alberic's army, also, I know that currently it's functioning very, very similar to Lewin's army, which, interesting how there's a single knight ahead of all of the lance formations, but anyway, the army currently is functioning very similar to that of Louen, but that's not going to be the case forever. It's just for now, until we get 4 trebuchets and possibly a few more foot knights, as in knights that have the dismount ability. But for now, we're going to make sure that we get some good action, lance on lance action here in particular, as Jade Lancers smash into the lines of the Knights of the Realm. Oh, these are actually Peasant Horsemen, not Jade Lancers. These are Jade Lancers. There we go. Well, they certainly have some fancy lances over there, but is that good enough to deal with the Knights of the Realm? Let's do a little bit of a stat comparison here. Plus 25 melee attack and plus 18 melee defense and minus 5 armor. Huh, the Jade Lances are more heavily armored. About half of the charge, however, and they also lack the 10% physical resistance. Either way, it looks like our knights are, well, these are Knights of the Realm that are buffed by Alberic, who is specialized with them, so it's hardly surprising. But also, I'm pretty sure that these Jade Lancers in particular haven't been buffed by their lord, which means they're probably screwed. Anyway, our paladins for once are not going after the enemy lord, but are flying around in the sky trying to knock down the enemy lanterns. Alright, and it looks like the trebuchets are actually much better at knocking lanterns out than the paladins are. It's a little bit surprising, but I am glad of it, because otherwise this army has no way to easily, or at least quickly, deal with the lanterns. Of course, the lanterns aren't really a threat to the paladins or anything like that, but nonetheless. Some decent shots from the peasant gunners as their artillery crew as they're managing to get to those lanterns down. Man, this particular battle is also very loud. Everybody's just screaming non-stop. Is it too loud, guys? What do you think? As in, is it difficult to hear me over the sounds of everybody screaming in the battle? I always have to make audio adjustments, and I'm never quite happy with them. But anyway, I also really love watching the Sky Lanterns go down, effective or not. But I'm sure they're a lot more effective in SFO than they are in vanilla. I also got to give SFO Cathay a run at some point, not just vanilla Cathay, since the whatchamacallits, the war wagons are pretty damn awesome. The non-mortar war wagons, the hand gunner war wagons are pretty damn awesome in SFO, to the point that I just spam them or love to build a lot of them as supporting units. I'm sure that the Sky Lanterns are also quite a bit better in SFO than in vanilla as well. Anyway, Sky Lanterns aside, it looks like the rest of the army got wrecked quite easily. I mean, by and large, they didn't have much in the way of scary troops, just a bunch of the rather basic Jade Warriors, and they got ripped apart and overrun by the knightly hordes. And oh, nice little valley area we got here, and a little bridge. Cute. Anyway, decisive victory for us. I'm hoping we'll get a proper battle against Yuanbo or his, well, just his faction in general, before they're destroyed. No, alright, very nice, even if it wasn't all that difficult, but we expected that based on the types of units and where the matchup happened. The most damage was actually to a single unit, the 12th Knights in this particular case, who got damaged by virtue of fighting a unit of Jade Warriors with halberds, which was the main threat. And on the bright side, we also did get a little bit of lance-to-lance action, just touched lances a little bit, when the Jade Lancers faced off against the Knights of the Realm. So, good job. Alright, we are going to occupy the place as well. And Berserker's Sword, which will be useless to us, but hey, we might be able to turn it into something less useless. Do any knights here not have names? Starry Knights, we got the regular Knights of the Realm, 12 Knights like be the lady. Ah, you don't have a name. Let's change you to Boogie Knights, and looks like these four don't have names either. Knights with coconuts. Alright, lovely. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 settlements remaining. How weak is your faction, by the way? I wonder if Yuenbo's main army is destroyed. I'd really love to see Alberic face off against him in a one-on-one, but, well, we'll see if we can make it happen. Anyway, Alberic, get rally so that we can hopefully get, not Chivalric Code, but the Protectors of the Realm to buff up your knights further. And I guess Guided by the Lady to buff up the Trebs, though these Trebs aren't going to be named right now because we're going to replace them with these Trebs instead. Alrighty, and since we built the buildings, I guess we're ready for another end turn, yes? Assuming that I am going to continue ignoring all the guardhouses and such, and indeed I will. Alright, skip, damage building, where? Oh, in Port Oberstar, yeah, we don't care about you. Skip, outpost available, skip, and... Oh, I guess we could have used all the insane amounts of cash we got to upgrade all of the outposts. Instead of the tier 5s. Yeah, but the tier 5s will give us capacities for various things, like more Grail Knights, and yeah, nah, we'll get the tier 5s. I think they're more important for now. End turn. Now, we won't have time, I think, to fight another battle today. Yuenbo wants peace now. Yeah, well, that's not surprising, but it isn't gonna happen, buddy. Once again, I would have preferred not to fight him, but, well, his choices of allies, let's say, and just worked against him too much in this particular... Oh, wow. Oh, my. Vlad and another lord with their best army, as well as... Well, we faced off against 3 and 3 armies together, but not 4 full stacks yet. Well, while this will be interesting, I think I'm going to actually save this battle for next episode, as this will be a particularly long fight, and I certainly want to give it justice. And we already had 3 cinematic battles in this episode as well. I don't know, this will mean that this episode will be a little bit shorter than advertised, but to be fair, a lot of the hour episodes have ended up being like an hour and 10 or an hour and 15 or whatever, so, you know, it's roughly an hour. It all balances in terms of time, sort of. Anyway, I'm gonna call it here. Next time we'll start off with this massive battle against the hordes of the dead who have all moved against us together, and then we'll see whatever else we have to do with the other lords, as they will be landing and attacking other things as well. Anyway, stay tuned for more Louen. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.